things like that. Control it, and of course, consistent laps, and you might get this one done.
Revs are up, and the gate is down. Tomac with a pretty good jump, trying to lead them into the first turn. Baggett and Barcia on the inside of him, and Baggett looks like he's got. No, it's going to be Barcia edging ahead, and he's going to grab that motorsport.com hole shot. Baggett got shuffled backwards. Tomac and Phil Nicoletti on the 54. The yellow Suzuki are right there.
Well, what a great start, though, for Tomac. We don't normally see him have a bike length on people coming out of the gate. So he's in prime position. Barcia using all that torque and power of that Yamaha. I had sort of predicted coming in.
You did. I got to give you credit. You said expect the Yamaha to be up front with the starts. I bet you said that 4 days ago.
Yeah, and especially with someone like Barcia, who is a good starter. But Tomac's right there. He got his best start. He's stoked right now. He said it after practice, the roost hurts. So I'm sure he'd like to just get past Barcia right now and keep himself nice and clean.
Barcia's one of the toughest riders to pass, though. He is absolutely a fighter. Barcia can put the word truculent on the back of his pants. He's good in practice, but when he gets in a race situation, he can elevate his game. He'll ride the motorcycle and do everything he can to fight you off. So we might have a battle on our hands here. Nicoletti solid in third. Then it's Marvin Musquin, Roczen, Pike, Baggett, Bloss, Dylan Merriam, Chase Marquier. That's your top 10 early.
Yeah, a little bit of water been thrown down.
Whoa, it affected Tomac there.
Yeah, so the track has slowly been changing throughout the day. So in the early laps, we noticed in the 250 class, and I'm seeing it again now, riders sort of feeling it out. They've done their parade lap, but you don't want to follow on this track. You heard from riders saying, one, it's difficult to follow because you can't see the rut if you're right behind someone. Secondly, the roost makes you almost kind of flinch, makes you want to turn your head away. And thirdly, well, you can't pass anyone if you're stuck in the same rut behind him.
It almost happened behind us. Musquin trying to get around Nicoletti for third. Lines came together. They nearly collided in a fight for third. Nicoletti, for the moment, still holding off Marvin. One lap down in Colorado, and that lap was led by Justin Barcia on the Monster Energy Yamaha. And you get the Monster Energy Kawasaki of Tomac right behind him. Look at Marvin doing everything he can to get Phil for third.
Yeah, good start there for Phil as well.
Roczen just cutting in front of Weston Pike. He's next in line on the number 94 Honda HRC machine. Back to the leaders. Barcia and Tomac not strangers to each other, similar in age, which means they came through the amateur ranks, the 250 class together. They used to be teammates, actually, with Geico Honda. Plenty of battles between these two through the years.
And a couple run-ins.
Well, that's Barcia, man. He's had him everybody. Back downhill we go. Is Tomac going to strike early? Is he going to sit back here and wait for a potential mistake? He's going to the inside. Before Sabachi took the lead in the 250 moto. Not going to happen.
He took that page out of Sabachi's book, but the only thing down there was, I think what really did it for Sabachi was he came down the very right-hand side. And anyone that knows road racing or anything, the more you can sweep a corner, open it up, the more momentum you can carry in. He did that. If Tomac can go all the way from the right and cut to the left and sort of go to the exit of the corner, that is a good passing opportunity. But at the moment, it doesn't look like Barcia's holding him up at all. Barcia running a good pace. In fact, these two starting to separate themselves just a bit.
Still Nicoletti in third ahead of Musquin, and now Roczen, who made that pass on Pike. Yeah, Barcia doing a good job actually stretching a little bit on Tomac. Marvin's going to take another swing at it with old Filthy Phil here. He's on the Auto Trader Yoshimura JGR Suzuki.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, and there is was that a mistake by Marvin? No, a mistake by Marvin in the exit. He's trying to figure out how he set that up.
It's weird. The inside was good.
Yes.
Then the outside became faster, but now the outside runs off the track, so it's actually slower, so you've got to go back to the inside.
Roczen, a quick strike on Musquin here.
Did you see what Roczen did? That was just pure genius right there. He seat bounced an acceleration bump out of the corner and downsided the drop-off to drive down.
Wow, and used it to make that pass stick. I don't know if we've seen any passes in that corner. So beautiful move by Ken Roczen on the 94 to get around Marvin. He's got to be frustrated. He's taken 3 or 4 shots at getting around Filthy Phil Nicoletti. Could not make it happen. So now Roczen's going to be the next. And while Barcia is stretching to a 2.5 seconds over Tomac, you got to figure if you're Roczen and Musquin, you figure if we can get through Nicoletti now, maybe we can get to the rear fender of Eli.
Good point. That's exactly what they want to do. But I know the feeling. Marvin is frustrated right now. He was trying to get Nicoletti, trying to get him, and then he loses a spot and botched a corner. And this is where a true champion takes a deep breath and then remounts the attack. But it's very easy to get a little bit flustered. And then Baggett working it harder there.
He wants Pike. on the inside, not much rut to use, and could not complete the pass. So it's still Roczen, Musquin, Pike, Baggett, and this is just outside of the podium position. Phil Nicoletti doing a great job in third. Musquin down to the inside, trying to repass Roczen. Now he switches to the outside, which will then become the inside, this next right-hand corner. Let's see what Marvin can do.
Yeah, he's certainly trying. I think at this point, maybe if he had forced the issue on Nicoletti or had maybe a little different opportunity, you kind of feel like he would be trying to chase down the front too. Meanwhile, now it's like, I got to work on two guys. Oh, Marvin came out of that turn, stood the bike up a little bit, and was running out of real estate. And that now allows Pike to get close. And then you got Baggett and Bloss. And I tell you what, Baggett and Bloss both look good in practice. Baggett looked a little bit like El Chupacabra of last year around here. He looked intense, and he looked like he was attacking the track. And Benny Bloss looked very good and very comfortable, especially in the deep ruts, getting those long leg, up and high.
Yeah, sometimes the ruts are tougher for the taller riders. But Bloss, no problems in practice. He definitely looked good. He's at the back of this freight train right now. Just see him popping over the jump. That would be in 8th place. Roczen has closed up on Nicoletti. Let's see what he can do. I talked to Dean Baker, the horsepower maker. That's the engine builder for the JGR Suzuki team. He said they, like a lot of the 450 riders have said, they leave a little bit of power on the table to make the bike rideable at the other tracks. Here they pump the compression up and squeeze everything they can out of it to make up for the altitude. And Phil using all that horsepower right now to try to hold Roczen off.
This is a good moto so far for Phil. We've seen him have good starts. Sometimes he seems to have a little bit of bad luck or make that mistake of a crash.
He's had good form, though, so far.
Yeah. Hopefully he can finish it off. With Nicoletti, there's always been the potential, but a lot of times the results haven't really shown the speed or the potential.
He's not afraid to get starts and send it and battle these guys. Just because Roczen and Musquin are champions doesn't mean he's got to move out of the way. He's fighting them for third. Tomac still 1.7 seconds behind Barcia. Barcia just inching away little by little with each lap. Musquin still trying to show a wheel to Roczen. He's going to try it again. Let's see what he can do on the inside here in the KTM, all the way down. And the entrance of the corner on the inside then fades a little wide at the end of it. Baggett has made the move on Pike. So let's see if he can get on this battle right in front of him between Nicoletti, Roczen, and Musquin. So Pike, that's Nicoletti's teammate, can push back one spot. And then Benny Bloss will file through next. Dylan Merriam and Kyle Chisholm rounding out the top 10. 8 minutes into a 30-minute and 2-lap moto here at Thunder Valley.
Yeah, Blake Baggett getting around Pike there. Pike riding a good race, but I think Baggett's pace is really strong at the moment. And I got a feeling with a little bit of clear track in front of him, he's going to join that pack up ahead, make this thing a little more interesting. And still, Barcia holding on strong.
Started with that motorsport.com hole shot, and we'll show it to you. Congrats, Grant. Wednesday. Conference call, he said, I bet you're going to see some of the Yamahas up front, like a guy like Barcia. Exactly what happened.
Yeah, he's a good starter, and with that Yamaha having the airbox up in front, it just is able to produce, in my opinion, more torque. I'm sure there's some engine tuners out there going, oh, you haven't seen my motor.
Yeah.
But off the shelf, off the showroom floor, the Yamaha's got the torque and everything you need, and a good straight line stability, and uphill at altitude. That's exactly what you want in your corner.
But Barcia now going to deal with some pressure from Tomac. It's definitely closed up. It was 1.3 seconds. Now it's only 0.7 of a second. So Tomac about to put the press on Barcia. But they accomplished one thing. They really stretched it on Nicoletti and the rest of the field. They've got almost 7 seconds on him. So now it's a private 1-2 battle for the lead. Similar to what we saw in our 250 race in the last hour, when Justin Cooper on a Yamaha and Joey Savacci on a Kawasaki were battling for first and second. It's an instant replay here.
Yeah. Different machines, but same sort of outcome. But we saw it in the 250 moto as well. It seemed like with the way the track had changed in the first 10 minutes. Look at Tomac, he's having a look. Yeah. It seemed like the first 10 minutes of the 250 moto, guys were feeling it out, getting their lines, letting some of that mud dry up a little bit, and then after 10 minutes, this is what we saw.
Ooh. Yeah, you knew what Tomac was trying to set up. He wanted to get to the inside of this corner, just couldn't grease that outside line the way he wanted to. But now he knows a couple of areas where he can put the attack on the 51.
Tomac, for him, seems to be more patient than maybe normal. And, you know, every year you get a little wiser, you learn from mistakes. You know, winning a race by a minute and a half or winning by half a second, you still get 25 points. And as a racer, especially someone like Tomac, his style is to go all out the whole time, all the time. He doesn't know any other way. A little bit like Barcia. But we're seeing a little bit, I mean, to me, I think with Tomac, if he has to dig deep or really pick it up, he can. But he's managing these races a little more like a veteran.
Roczen has taken third away from Nicoletti, but now I'm seeing the red flag flying. Odd to see it this late into a moto. That is a wheels on the ground flag. They can't jump the jumps. Now they see the red flag and they realize that the race is stopped and we will have to restart. And Barcia is so bummed because he had the lead. We're not sure exactly who was down. We're going to take a break here and try to sort it out. Barcia's bummed. The racers always understand safety comes first, and we'll have to send him back to the starting gate again 10 minutes into this first moto.
Kerry Bowling holding it up.
All right, so the fly 30-second board. We're going to reset this thing. Once it goes sideways, we're going to go racing again. Barcia, look to the left of your screen on the blue number 51. Will justice be served? Can he replicate the whole shot on the restart?
Oh, he got pinched a little bit there.
Yeah, not going to happen. It looks like Baggett on the inside. He used that line the first time around. This time it pays off. Baggett has the start. Is that Roczen right behind him? Yes, it is.
Oh, what a move by Barcia through that corner. He went from 6th to 3rd and got Tomac. Beautiful. Probably a little frustration out of the 51 Bam Bam, but he responds to that. There comes Tomac. So almost a little bit justice served. Just a couple guys a little bit better off this time around.
All right, first really good start from Baggett. He actually did have one, I should say, at Glen Helen last week, but then he coughed it up with an early crash.
That was close.
Roczen, a quick strike on Baggett, just blows by him on those uphill whoops, and Ken Roczen into the lead. Now Baggett tries to spot on the inside. Barcia and Tomac right there as well. We've got 4 big hitters up front early in this.
Wow, Roczen, I don't think the front wheel touched the ground going up that hill until he got on those rollers. I mean, talk about getting the perfect drive out of the corner on the rear wheel. Power pass. Baggett, he's in the mix. Oh, no!
Barcia throws it away. Just real quick, touch the leg.
Get going. Yep. Didn't lose a ton of time, but, oh, you know, there's some frustration under that helmet. He was pretty much a shoo-in for at least second in the way it was going earlier. There's Nicoletti, so at least he's near the front again. Filthy Phil. He probably would be a little frustrated. Man, I was running a really good 3rd place there.
Yeah, Barcia's going to be very, very angry. So Tomac inherits 3rd after the quick crash from Barcia. By the way, we have taken the clock from where it was with the restart. So 18 minutes and 2 laps to go now in this one. And Tomac looking to put the press on Baggett. Baggett on that Rocky Mountain ATV MC WPS KTM Monster Kawasaki for Tomac on the number 1 in green, 3rd. And Ken Roczen on the Honda HRC machine leads the first restart lap and stretching it out just a bit, 1.9 seconds on Baggett. Bit of a rematch from the battle we had here 1 year ago where Baggett was able to get Tomac for the 2nd moto and overall win. Tomac lost Baggett back this time.
Different year, different situation.
Yep.
And you can see Tomac said his bike is better this year than it was last year. To me, he seems more confident. Baggett last year was really good here. He's riding really good right now, but Tomac on the rear wheel. Whoo, he almost had that. This was Baggett's strong section last year.
Yeah, the Baggett bank up against the wall. Baggett going to go wide into this corner. Tomac going to try to attack him. He's really hard on the brake.
Mistake from Baggett. Whoa. Yeah, that basically they're coming down that hill on the outside. They've been smashing the middle part of the berm, and it's now been sort of destroyed. And Baggett got into that pocket and couldn't rail the corner. Tomac had the inside. Actually was an easier pass than even Tomac would have expected.
Weston Pike and Marvin Musquin battling right behind him. So Tomac takes 2nd from Baggett and now wants to go after your leader, Ken Roczen, who's got a 2-second gap. So Tomac started this one in 4th. This corner right here, Barcia fell. Then he passed Baggett. There's Marvin trying to get around Pike. Yeah, Barcia's back in this one. He's all over Marvin. Let's see what Musquin can do using the inside line on the Red Bull KTM against the Auto Trader Yoshimura Suzuki.
They're both trying to go for the same line.
Oh.
You can see both of them really pushing, and wow, Marv really got a great exit. You see leg up, bike peeled over, just nothing but horsepower coming out of there. Got the drive, got it done.
Yeah, Pike worked so hard to try to stick it to the inside. He's just a little too fast, couldn't do it. Another mistake. Now Barcia's going to try to get Pike as well. Former teammates on this Joe Gibb Racing team.
Two riders that don't give an inch.
No, Pike didn't, but Barcia was still able to get around him. So Barcia is back on the prowl. That is fifth for him. Musquin fourth, Baggett third, Tomac second, Roczen in the lead. Rest of your top 10, you got Nicoletti seventh, Bloss eighth, Merriam ninth. Derek Anderson, local out of Colorado, privateer in the Honda, in 10th right now. So good job by Derek. Let's see if Barcia can hang with Marvin. They would like to hitch a ride with each other and maybe go after Baggett for third and even hook up with the leaders, Roczen and Tomac. 15 minutes now left in this moto, so it goes quick once the 12 minutes were already taken away before the restart. Barcia doing a good job keeping the composure after that little crash.
Yeah, that would have just fired him up more than anything else.
Yep.
But for Musquin, his last lap around was pretty good, but it seemed like even in the first, before the restart, his just doesn't quite have that raw speed that we've seen from him in the past. But there is 15 minutes to go, and you know you can do quite a bit in 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, Grant. You could save 15% or more on your insurance with Geico. Just give them a call or log on. 15 minutes, 15% or more savings. 15 minutes to go in this moto. Wow, huge lead from Marvin.
Yeah, Marvin wishes he could get 15% taken off his lap time. He'd be running down Roczen for the lead.
1.6 seconds the gap between Roczen and Tomac up front. Then you see Baggett over the jump third. Then it's Marvin. Then it's Barcia, Pike, and his teammate Nicoletti right behind him. You've seen Nicoletti and Pike running in formation for a lot of the early motos this year. Back to your leader, Roczen, past the mechanics area. Both he and Tomac going wide into that corner.
I like it when we switch up some of those shots. You kind of get a different angle, see what it looks like coming in those ruts. But Tomac, he's starting to creep back up. Roczen has been, to me, very impressive this season. We didn't know what to expect at round one. He was strong. Round two, the improvement was phenomenal. And round three, maybe with a little bit of luck, finds himself leading. This guy's making strides. And I think there's a lot of fans at home watching going, oh, this is only going to get better as the season goes on.
Well, this used to be a classic rivalry. Roczen and Tomac, they battled throughout their years in the 250 class. They battled quite a bit on 450s, but we haven't had it for a while because Roczen has been hurt so much lately. And even Will mentioned last week from down trackside, she said you could kind of feel the electricity when these two superstars finally hooked it up for the first time in a while. It was a great first moto last week, and we're going to have another great one here. Tomac starting to close in, looking to put the press on the 94. And Roczen showed last week that even though he's still in recovery mode, he's not just going to hand the lead over. Only 12 minutes and 2 laps to go.
Ooh, Tomac right on the edge of the track. They're using every inch of this facility. See them now sweeping in early in that turn, trying to avoid where that little divot basically has been taken out of the berm. Because what happens is when the guys leave the braking so late, they don't actually rail the berm. They smash the berm because it's a way of slowing them down because they're coming down so hot.
They just use that basically as a stopping device. Like just bank off of it. Look
like
at Roczen. Feet on the pegs all the way through that turn. Super smooth in the Honda. And Tomac, he's all about hitting stuff hard and pushing it. And right now the two styles working out about the same. I think Roczen is maybe pulled away just a little bit from where they were earlier in this lap. But you know Tomac's not going to give up back there in second. He's going to throw another thing at him. Trying to close that gap back up.
Yeah, once again, there's Oscar. Yeah, see, no rush. I think Oscar is a great pairing and mechanic for someone like Roczen. I think their personalities gel. Roczen's not the kind of guy that you need to yell and scream and get fired up. You just need to coach him a little bit, because as a rider, it's very easy to just want to go out, hammer everything, do this. Sometimes you almost need your mechanic to try and get you to just calm down a little bit, especially if he knows your personality. And I think these guys make a good pairing.
Tomac right there now.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that didn't take long.
Another pairing.
Yeah, this is a great one.
Rivalry
Contrast
pairing.
the styles. Yep. Colorado's own Eli Tomac. You got the German Roczen, but he's been very well received by the American fans. I think people are pumped on this comeback effort by the 94. But as excited as they are about that, got to figure the partisan fans here in Colorado would like to see Tomac get him. How's it going to turn out? 11 minutes left now in this photo. Ooh, little mistake by Roczen. Let's see if Tomac can get the drive uphill.
He certainly tried. He got a good run around the outside.
And he's run hard on this inside before. Uses it to get right up beside him and maybe even next to him downhill. Roczen able to close him off. Fans going nuts here at Thunder Valley. A great battle for the lead.
Oh, watch this. Tomac's going to go to the inside. Will he bomb dive? No, he thought about it, but Roczen probably hurt him out of that sort of left eardrum, knowing what was going to happen. These guys are smart. They almost have eyes in the back of their head, but that's just from experience, hearing an engine, and just knowing your competitor and where he's likely to strike or what his line options are.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Since these two have battled for wins many times, does that help, actually? Just kind of having an idea?
Yeah, absolutely, because you start learning your competitor's strengths and weaknesses. You know, a lot of times at places, teams will talk to their riders about, you know, if you see him get flustered, like strike quickly, like get him more flustered, throw him out of his rhythm more. But if you know a guy doesn't get flustered, you know, you try to find something else, get him a start, block him, you know, whatever. People try and figure all the little things. That is the difference between being a fast rider and going out and winning races and championships.
Baggett still lurking here and there in third. You'll see him on some of the longer stretches of the track. Musquin has fourth right now by about a second and a half on Barcia, who's fifth. Then it's Bloss, Pike, Nicoletti, Miriam, and Alex Ray. Oh, a little mistake from Roczen that allows Tomac to get right there with him.
Nice.
Tomac going to try to pin it around the outside. It's a big jump here leading to the finish line. This is where Tomac was quick the previous time around. He closes right up. Another little error from Roczen. Got to try to settle in because this is extreme pressure right now from the number one.
I wonder, too, though, for Roczen, if maybe that little break, you know, the little breather they had off the red flag, if that just didn't help him, you know, get his breathing back. If you're not 100% fit, you have to imagine that helps. It's almost like having a quick half time.
Tomac to the inside. Ooh. Gonna be a drag race up this hill. Kawasaki versus the Honda. They're trying to get the wheels on the ground and get the drive. Roczen able to scrub it and accelerate, just putting it in front of Tomac. Now Tomac still on the inside. 2 laps in a row, Roczen was able to get to that spot at the top of the hill and block it. Now this corner, we've seen some passing.
Watch here.
Yep.
Tomac's trying. He goes for the inside, but Roczen just carrying great momentum around the long way. You're going to go the long way around, which might be smoother. You got to carry a ton of speed. Eli, so both these guys starting to use more sweeping lines. I think because the inside's getting harder packed and a little slick. You saw what happened to Barcia. You get on that with a little bit of what we call marbles, little pebbles. The wheels start washing out. These guys are starting to sweep these outside lines or just staying out of the big deep ruts. There you can go to the inside, no deep rut. That's a premier line. Everywhere else trying to be creative.
Now we are not going to be able to finish this race within the hour here on MAV TV. So what we're going to ask you to do when we get to the top of the hour is actually flip over to NBCSN. That's when our second moto coverage is scheduled to begin. So what we'll do is give you the conclusion of this first moto on NBCSN and roll right into our second motos. Due to the time that we lost with that restart, not going to get this in here. If you're watching on the NBC Gold app, just stay with us.
Yeah.
We won't change a darn thing. But otherwise, you got to switch to NBCSN in a couple of minutes. We'll let you know when. And we'll switch over to the new network. Battle is on big time right now. This entire lap, Tomac has been close to Roczen. He's going to try this outside again.
Yeah, he gets really close, but from the exit out, Roczen's able to drive on that jump. Oh, a little mistake from Roczen. He took a look over. Had Tomac been a bike length closer, he might have had a chance. And now again, watch Tomac get the drive. He's got the inside.
He's got it through those rollers. And Eli Tomac wrestles the lead away from Ken Roczen. A yeoman effort. And Baggett actually is close to within 4 seconds now behind him. You still see him on some of the longer sections. Let's see what Kenny's got. Can he stay with Tomac? Can Baggett make a charge on him? Can Roczen retake the lead? Many ways this can go. There you see Baggett there in third. He hasn't lost a ton of ground. Roczen's coming right back after him.
Just totally different lines and technique and style and everything, but crazy how it all works out pretty much even. Oh, yeah. They wanted to see a good battle, but I still think majority of the fans are rooting for the home state hero.
Oh, yeah. So Roczen now going to school. He's seeing the lines that Tomac is using. Tomac is absolutely pinned now, dropping the hammer and trying to open up a gap. Just got the Kawasaki into that outside line that he wanted. Now jumping downhill. Roczen still in striking distance. Can he stay with him? And there you see Baggett creeping back in there on the Rocky Mountain ATV MC KTM. Baggett looking racy now.
Yeah, last lap around, Baggett was the fastest man on track. Just a little bit quicker than the two in front of him. And everyone else a little bit off the pace compared to that. But with the time left, I think if Baggett, look at that. I mean, one or two mistakes from any of these guys, it could change dramatically.
Fans saluting the effort from their home state boy, Tomac, to get into the lead. Baggett now trying to put on a charge. Maybe he has something to say about this. Pivotal moment of the race. Tomac trying to open up a gap. And as they say, try to break these guys. Roczen still close enough if Tomac makes a mistake to get right back in this. Baggett hoping for the same thing. He's hoping for an error from one or both of them to open the door for him.
Curious to see the lap times this time around, because it seemed like once Tomac got Roczen, he tried to sort of lay down that heater of a lap to break him. But it seemed like Roczen did the same thing, try to pick it up to stay with him. 2:06 for Eli Tomac. That is almost 2 seconds quicker than anyone, except for the fact that Roczen just put in his best lap. No, sorry, not that lap. It was the lap before. But anyway, Tomac, a 2:06.8.
Wow, and 2:08, the best that Roczen has turned in this moto. And that's, let's see, Baggett is a 2:07.9. So Baggett just a shade quicker than Roczen on his best time. So Baggett's definitely coming. But that time thrown down by Tomac, the 2:06, no one else has been in the 2:06 range. And that's the kind of stuff Tomac has been able to do early this season. Baggett on the move, sliding the front end all the way around that corner, leaping off the top of the crest. You can see when Baggett gets the bit between his teeth late in the moto, a little bit of extra aggression. He continues to close on Roczen.
Yes, the front three definitely starting to separate themselves. Musquin just not quite able to keep the pace with the front guys. Not having a bad day, but certainly Marvin capable of more as the camera holds to see where he is. There comes the 25.
Yeah, so there he is. That is fourth. And then Barcia about 4 seconds behind him in fifth. So there's the Red Bull KTM man. Would like to get in that battle, but he's going to need some help. He's going to need those guys to really slow each other up. Yeah, it hasn't been a bad start to the season from Marvin, but it started the year off last year with a win at round 2 at Glen Helen. Hasn't gotten any wins this season, so just a hair off maybe from where he was 1 year ago. To go back to Roczen, who's now about as close to Tomac in front of him as he is to Baggett behind him. So this could be a battle for second down to the wire. And as we said, we might just have to finish this race on NBCSN. We're scheduled to flip to that network at the top of the hour. Normally that would be when our second motos begin, but we have a little delay due to the red flag here. So we might have the final laps of this moto on the other network. Ready to switch to NBCSN. We'll tell you when and if we need to do that. Roczen across the finish line. About 2.5 minutes and 2 laps to go in this moto. So Tomac has pulled it out, dropping the proverbial hammer. 2:06 lap time, then a 2:07.
Oh, look at that. Baggett just creeping. Once again, that lap time, 2:08 for Baggett. High 2:08 and a low 2:09 for Roczen. So about a half a second again.
Oh, this is going to be good racing down the stretch. Baggett up on the rev limiter. You can hear the bike cutting in and out. That's the rev limiter stopping the bike from basically blowing itself up, floating the valves in midair. Every jump you see Baggett tilting his head. Look ahead, look ahead, look ahead. He's trying to mark Roczen.
Well, when you do that, I know I've said it before, it's just a hard thing to explain, but it helps you suck you into the guy in front of you.
Okay.
It's just, you leave the braking a little bit later here, you're looking through the corners better. It's just all the little things will gain you those few tenths. And then you go, I wish I could do this all the time, but it doesn't always work that way.
All right, we're 4 minutes, by the way, from switching over to NBCSN. That might allow us to get the checkered flag of it in here on MAV. But we'll let you know if you got to switch over to NBCSN. I can guarantee you this. When the next hour starts, we're on NBCSN. So just be ready with the clicker. Baggett has got it down to 1.5 seconds on Roczen. It was 5 a few laps earlier. It keeps getting closer between the 94 and the 4. And there's Tomac with a lap rider in between them up ahead. Oh, Roczen almost blew out the berm on the exit of that corner.
Yeah, these guys are pushing. It's starting to get... The other thing is with that break, there was about 15 minutes where the track is sitting out in the breeze and the sun, so it's drying up more and more. And so now it's changed a fair bit from the beginning. See how much lighter the dirt looks? The stuff that looks more like a chocolate brown has more moisture in it. So you've gone from a little bit of a wet slick to a dry slick.
Down through the rollers we go. This is the area where Tomac was able to pass Roczen. Roczen giving it everything he has now down the stretch. He's got to know that Baggett is lurking back there. Tomac has opened it up big time. 5.1 seconds is the lead now for the Kawasaki man. He's had to work for it in every single moto this year, but what we've seen consistently from Tomac is the ability to just drop 2 or 3 seconds from his lap time when he must do it. Responds to the challenge, makes the pass, pulls away. We'll keep focused here on this battle for the number 2 spot.
Yeah, Roczen's still holding strong. Baggett giving it everything. Their lap times barely off their best of the moto, which leads me to believe that they're digging deep. Is that big? No.
I thought it was, yeah, because the gear match is actually not. Bloss is okay still. He's in 6th.
I think it was Lopez.
All right, so we're 2 minutes before we're off the air on MAV TV, so I don't think we're going to get the checkered flag in. Just be ready at the top of the hour. We will go to NBCSN, and you can see the conclusion of this moto and our second motos. Big battle brewing here. Every time you look, Baggett's a little bit closer to Roczen in the fight for second. Then it's Musquin, Barcia, Bloss, Pike, Nicoletti 8th. Miriam, Lorenzo Locurcio has climbed up to 10th ahead of Jake Masterpool, the rookie, who is in 11th, and Alex Ray back to 12th. 2.5 laps to go. Tomac's lead now 5.6 seconds.
Yeah, you can see him at the top of the screen. It's visibly big enough. A little bobble, he should be good. But a little bobble from one of these two should change the outcome of the podium. Baggett trying everything, and Roczen still able to match it. Impressive from Roczen.
All right, we're 1 minute from switching over to NBCSN, so be ready to switch networks. Maybe click the guide right now so you know exactly what channel number that is and go straight to it so you can see the checkered flag of this one due to the red flag. Our race got delayed here a little bit, and we're scheduled to go on the other network for the second half of our show. So be ready for the conclusion of this one on NBCSN. Back behind the starting line area we go. It's as close as Baggett has been to Roczen at any point in this moto. 2 laps to go. Really going to dig deep now.
Well, once you see that 2-lap card for any rider, that's like a signal. It's almost like a red flag to a pearl. It's you got to look ahead. Go.
Okay, so switch over to NBCSN for the conclusion of this. Tomac trying to get the moto win. Ken Roczen trying to hold off Blake Baggett for second. As for our MAV TV coverage, Jason Wygant, Grant Langston, Will Christian, thanks for watching on MAV TV. Switch to NBCSN right now. You're joining us live right here in action, the conclusion of our first moto of the day here at NBCSN. It's the True Value Thunder Valley National Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Battle is on. This is late in the race for second place. Ken Roczen in red on the 94, trying to hold up Blake Baggett. We actually had a red flag and a delay in this race for safety reasons earlier, so that actually held up the finish of this race. So we're going to give you the final lap and a half of it right here on NBCSN, and then roll out our second motos in our second half of the day to conclude our racing here from Colorado. Eli Tomac, your series points leader, is long gone up front. He has a 6-second lead on these two. Jason Wygant, Grant Langston, and Will Christian here to give you the call. Good battle for this number 2 spot. Baggett in third, wants it. Ken Roczen showing his endurance, coming back from a pair of devastating arm injuries over the last 18 months. Showing great endurance down the stretch. Yeah, there's your leader.
Not a massive gap, but big enough with this amount of time left. But, man, digging deep is Ken Roczen. You know he wants this bad, and Baggett wants it bad too. He's had success here. And with the pace these two are pushing each other at, they're not losing anything to Tomac. In fact, they've slightly closed the gap. I'm sure Tomac just managing it riding his own pace, but they're going to come to the white flag. Tomac has taken that one more lap for Baggett. Can he make it happen, or can Roczen, who's shown so much heart at the first 2 rounds, can he hold it off?
Okay, so here it is. White flag is out. Tomac clear for victory if he can hold on to it. But who will finish in second? Will it be Roczen, the German, or the California native Blake Baggett right there trying to put the heat on him at the Honda HRC machine, the Rocky Mountain ATV MC WPS KTM. Baggett trying an inside line, but he couldn't hold it.
Yeah, he went for it there, but I think he just left the brakes a little too late and lost the drive. Is that enough to give Roczen a bit of a cushion on this last lap? You know, Baggett's not going to give up, but that really hurt him a little bit. He wanted to get to the inside, couldn't hold that line, and once he went over the rut, he lost a few bike legs.
Yeah, couldn't get the double jump on the beginning of that section, but there is time for him to close back up. Is there time for him to close up and make a pass? Going back to the top, double right-hand corner now. Baggett, he's trying to go inside in every corner, hoping to make something happen against Roczen.
Yeah, different lines down the hill. Baggett choosing that inside. Roczen choosing that sort of medium line.
Ooh, he's right there.
Baggett is trying. He's got one more good shot, and that'll come after this triple step up through the left-hand sweeper. Ooh, you hear Baggett on it. Roczen's going to try and defend. What do? Roczen goes to the outside. So does Baggett. Will they switch it up? This is where I think, I don't think Baggett's close enough. It's probably going to take a mistake.
Yep, this corner and that whole section was a great passing zone, but Roczen was in the same line. Baggett was stuck back there, couldn't do anything with it. In this corner right here, it's a real rough one. You got to hop, skip, and jump out of it. Back downhill. Is there any place left in this track for Baggett to make the pass on Roczen? Now, Roczen led a lot of this thing. Tomac was able to make the move on him and then pull away. And Tomac appears to be headed for victory, and the fans starting to respond. It's their home state native here in Colorado, looking to take the win. Here it is, last corner, last jump. Eli Tomac working hard for this one. He earns it. He's got the checkered flag in the first moto here in his home state. The True Value Thunder Valley National, and there it is, Roczen. Whew! He had to earn that one. He had serious pressure from Baggett all the way to the end. They congratulate each other. Good sportsmanship between those two, and they'll head up to the podium.
The all-new Geomax MX34 is the latest result of Dunlop.